On this tape, in this section of the course, we'll be focusing on something called the special release process. You'll notice it's the next page in your workbook. And this process was actually originally created by Lester Levinson, the creator of the Sedona method, exclusively for the use of instructors. He felt that it was really important for an instructor to let go of any reactivity, any wanting approval, control, or security, any feeling that they might have about any student in the class, so that they could really be there 100% for the students as they came. I've been using this procedure now for 22 years because I was very precocious when I first took the basic course in November of 1976, the advanced course in January of 1977, and the teacher's training in February of 1977. Those were the only 3 courses. I took them all and loved them. And I was way too young to be an instructor, so it wasn't long after that that I recognized that I needed to go out and just live life and use the method in life and get some solid experience under my belt before I tried to teach it to anyone else. The instructor's procedure is what it used to be called, and we just now call it the special release process, has been with me those 22 years. And again, it's one of my favorite ways of applying the method, because you can use this process anytime you've had any interaction with anyone, positive or negative. Now, why would you release on the positive? Well, you might want it to get even better. And as far as the negatives are concerned, we very often, and we've mentioned this before, we'll have people in our lives who we see over and over again. Our husband, our wife, our children, our business associates, all sorts of people who we're going to see again. And you don't want to carry the excess baggage you might have had from the meeting before you had with them into the next meeting. And when you use this process, it has almost a magical ability to help you shed whatever it is you're carrying from the meeting you just had. And I'm using the word meeting. It could be just spoke to a friend on the phone, you went out to the movies with someone, you were speaking to your husband or wife, you were talking to your son or your daughter, and you still feel a little bothered. You still feel like you're carrying around a little excess baggage. If you use this very simple releasing process, you'll see that things will just start to clear up in life. You won't be carrying around so much extra weight. The way you do it is very simple. You get by yourself. Just like any other part of the method, you don't need to isolate. You can do this in the car, you can do this walking down the street, you can do this sitting quietly by yourself. You can do it in any situation. I was in sales for part of my history. I sold real estate, so I also would use it when I would meet with clients, after I'd met with clients, and sometimes if I had met with a client before, I might do it even before seeing them, so I'd go into the meeting fresh. So you get by yourself and you visualize the person. You see their face before you. And again, if you're a feeling person, you might just get a sense of how you feel about them. And if you're an auditory person, you might hear a little narration. It varies from person to person. But at any rate, you picture the person, and then you ask these questions in order. The first 2 questions, for instance, did this person try to control me? And did I try to control them? You ask the question, and then you pause for a moment, and you give yourself an opportunity to allow the wanting to control to come up into awareness so you can just let it go. Now you can also ask other questions in response to that question, and I'll demonstrate that because in a moment or so I'll guide you through the use of this process. And then you go back and forth on the first 2 questions until you feel like you've done some good releasing, and then you move on to the 3rd question. Do I now grant this person the right for this person to be the way this person is? Now the unique thing about that question, it's really just a decision. In deciding to grant that person the right for them to be the way they are, very profound shifts can happen in your awareness. You can get very big releases very easily. Now, you might see how you could grant someone the right to be the way they are if you just had some difficulty with them. You might even be able to imagine loving or accepting them. But sometimes it might be hard to imagine. In the 3rd set of questions, you may have noticed that it says, I now have only a feeling of well-being, safety, and trust with this person. Now what if it's someone who just tried to cheat you in business? Why would you want to feel that way? It's very simple. When you feel distrust, you're holding in mind they're going to cheat you. When you feel threatened, you're giving your power away to the other person, and they can sense it. If you're feeling threatened, they feel more powerful, like they can control and manipulate you and threaten you. So you're not doing it for the other person. I mean, in a close relationship you might be, because it might improve your relationship. But if it's a difficult relationship, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. If you allow yourself to have that feeling of well-being, safety, and trust, it puts you in charge, it puts you in control, and you don't have to worry about doing business with someone. You still have discrimination. Remember, we talked about that earlier in the program, seeing things clearly. You still may choose to never do business again with someone who cheated you. But if you're holding on to that feeling of mistrust, you may attract other people into your experience who aren't trustworthy. It's to your advantage to get to that point of completion on all three questions. And you'll see from practical experience as you work with this that it will really help you out. Make yourself comfortable and focus inside. And think of a person that you'd like to try this out on, and we'll work together on it. But pick someone first that you don't have a lot of charge on. Someone where you have just a tiny bit of resistance to, a tiny bit of wanting approval, control, or security in relationship to, so that you can really feel the sense of completion as we work through it. So focus on the person. Did that person try to control you? And if so, could you let go of wanting to control them back? Did you try to control this person? And if you did, could you let go of wanting to control them? Let's cycle through that again. Did this person try to control you? And did that stir up some resistance inside of you? And if it did, could you let it go? Did you try to control this person? And if so, just for now, could you let go of wanting to control them? And let's cycle through those two questions one more time. Did the person try to control you? And I'll just be quiet for a moment and let you do your own releasing. Did you try to control this person? And now let's move on to the third question in the series. Could you, let's start with just a could you grant this person the right for this person to be the way this person is? Just could you? Would you grant them the right for them to be the way they are? And remember, this is just a decision. Do you now grant this person the right for this person to be the way this person is? Now, if you want to, you can pause the tape and do a little more releasing before moving on, or you can just follow along as we go on to the next set of questions. Did you dislike or disapprove of anything in this person? And if so, could you let go of withholding your love or approval from them? Did this person dislike or disapprove of anything in you? And if it seems that way, could you let go of wanting their approval? Did you dislike or disapprove of anything in this person? And if so, could you let go of withholding your love from this person? Withholding your approval? Could you let go of disapproving of them, just for now? And did this person dislike or disapprove of anything in you? And if so, could you let go of wanting their approval? Wanting them to like you or care about you? Did you dislike or disapprove of anything in this person? Did this person dislike or disapprove of anything in you? And could you have only love or acceptance feelings for this person? Just could you? Would you allow yourself to accept or love them? And again, remember, it's just a choice. Do you now have only love feelings for this person? And if the answer is yes, just move on as we continue on this tape. And if not, you can pause the tape and do a little work on your own. Did this person challenge, oppose, or threaten you? And if so, could you let go of wanting to protect yourself from that person? Did you challenge, oppose, or threaten them? And could you let go of wanting to challenge, oppose, or threaten them? Did this person challenge, oppose, or threaten you? And if so, could you let go of any wanting security that may have been stirred up by that challenge? Did you challenge, oppose, or threaten them? And if so, could you now just let that go? Did they challenge, oppose, or threaten you? Did you challenge, oppose, or threaten them? And could you allow yourself to have only a feeling of well-being, a feeling of safety and trust with that person? And would you allow yourself to feel that way? Do you have only a feeling of well-being, a feeling of safety and trust for this person? So if you look inside and see how you feel right now about this person, I think you notice there has been a major shift in the way you feel about them. And this was just in a few minutes. Now you can also use this on long-standing relationships, even with people who are no longer alive. You can clean up on past relatives or past relationships. People who maybe you've separated from, but are still carrying around a lot of feeling about. If you explore this process and start using it in your life, you'll find it will really help you in the area of relating to others. And it will also really help you in just being in life in a more relaxed, comfortable, and free way.